City right away.
What would happen if I don't move along?
You go to jail.
For what?
For what?
Yes.
Because I've actually moved along. You taking pictures of a facility that.
Is that illegal?
We don't know if you're staging a breakeout.
I'm not staging a breakout. I've told you I'm a journalist gathering.
And then at this point, it's loitering because I actually find that you can't produce anything.
I'm telling you, I'm not producing any ID. And as a matter of fact, if I'm free to go, have a nice day. Am I free to go?
No, you're not free to go.
I'm not free to go.
No,
so I'm being detained.
No, sir, I need to see some ID.
Okay, well, if I'm not being detained, have a nice day.
I need to see some ID.
Sir, I'm either being detained or I'm free to go.
You're actually committing obstruction right now by not giving us an ID.
So you're going to detain me until you see the tapes?
Can you shut up long enough for me to finish talking?
That's not very nice.
I don't give a damn.
Okay.
Until I see the videotapes, I am officially conducting an investigation. Once I view them and I see that you never step foot on this property, you are free to go.
What's your reasonable articulable suspicion?
Welcome back. We are in Quincy, Florida, where standing on a public sidewalk with a camera is apparently a crime. These officers aren't just confused, they are actively inventing laws to force an ID check, threatening jail time for a potential security issue. This footage comes from the legendary channel Honor Your Oath Civil Rights Investigations, a true pioneer in defending our liberties. Please click the link in the description, subscribe to them, and let them know ID Refusal Central sent you. Watch closely. You are not going to believe the audacity of what happens next.
What's going on today?
Hey, officer, how are you?
What's going on today?
Officer, what's your name?
Barber.
Officer Barber, you're Quincy? I thought they called county.
I called both of us.
I'm just out here taking photos out in public, that's all.
The prison?
Yes, sir.
Are you taking?
Yeah, there's inmates right there. I saw them washing this vehicle.
Are you taking pictures of?
I'm a journalist gathering content for stories. It's investigative journalism.
You got a ID on you?
What type of ID would you mean?
Driver's license, any type of ID. What's your name and date of birth?
Well, let me explain to you. I'm standing on a public sidewalk, taking photos out in public.
And that's fine. I asked you for your ID.
I understand, but if I'm not being detained, I'm not going to produce any identification.
Well, sir, you need to move along there. Like you said, this is city property, so you need to move along. City right away.
What would happen if I don't move along?
You go to jail.
For what?
For what?
Yes.
Because I've actually moved along. You taking pictures of a facility that.
Is that illegal?
We don't know if you're staging a breakout.
I'm not staging a breakout. I've told you I'm a journalist gathering.
And then at this point, it's loitering.
The officer threatens arrest for loitering simply because the citizen refuses to leave a public sidewalk. Under Florida Statute 856.021 and the Supreme Court case Papatristou versus City of Jacksonville, loitering statutes cannot be used to punish constitutionally protected activities like journalism. Merely standing in public without criminal intent does not constitute loitering. The officer is using a vague threat to force compliance.
Because I actually find that you can't produce anything. You had produced anything.
I'm not
taking pictures of a facility that houses inmates.
Right. I've explained to you I'm an investigative journalist gathering content for stories.
I need your ID showing that.
And I have no obligation to prove to you who I am.
Yes, you do.
Look, if I'm not being detained, I'm gonna say.
Have a nice day.
You have a nice day too. You're free to go.
13 to 109. If you could be en route, please.
Are you actually?
Who's that over there?
Are you trying to trespass me from a public sidewalk?
No, I'm asking you to walk along. Keep moving.
I'm not gonna keep moving. I got a job to do, so I'm out here to do my job. I appreciate if you didn't. I appreciate if you didn't interfere and obstruct my rights.
Barbara was 10 miles out with them. We lost connection with our caller. Quincy PD has a unit 10 miles out.
I bet I didn't see a good part of the liquor store. The officer by having a vehicle told to go down there. Oh, he got a scanner. That's why he knows he's coming.
I'm a journalist. Journalists have scanners. Right? I mean, that's what journalists do. We have scanners. We know what's going on. This is constitutionally protected activity, safeguarded by the First Amendment. I have every right to do this.
You from Florida?
I'm not answering any questions.
Because if you're from Florida, you should know that Florida also requires everybody to have identification, which is state law.
So you have to have identification on you at all times?
It's state law. Look it up.
He's a lieutenant in the sheriff's office?
Yeah. Even better. All right. How are you? Yeah. Right, sir. He had to take a picture of the prison and inmates don't want to produce ID.
Why are you doing that,
we
sir?
can verify who he is.
I've explained to the officers.
No, explain it to me.
And I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing is I'm a journalist gathering content for a story. Investigative journalist gathering content for a story. And beyond that, investigative journalist gathering content for a story. And if I'm not being detained, I'm not going to produce any ID. It's none of y'all's business who I am. It's none of y'all's business what I'm doing. It's an investigative story.
You need to produce something. Don't tell me it's none of my business. You either taking pictures of a correctional facility,
That's right.
and we want to know why.
And I was taking pictures of the inmates right there. I've just explained to you why. I'm an investigative journalist gathering content for a
But he
story.
won't produce the investigative journalist ID as
This is my
well.
identification. A number I can call, or something.
Like I said, it's none of your business. Unless I'm being detained, I'm not producing the ID. And as a matter of fact, if I'm free to go, have a nice day. Am I free to go?
No, you're not free to go.
I'm not free to go. So I'm being detained.
No, sir, I need to see some ID.
Okay, well, if I'm not being detained, have a nice day.
I need to see some ID.
Sir, I'm either being detained or I'm free to go. Either one.
You're actually committing obstruction right now by not giving us an ID.
The officer claims that refusing to provide ID is obstruction, but this is a legal falsehood. Under Heibel v. 6th Judicial District Court, citizens are only required to identify themselves during a valid Terry stop based on reasonable articulable suspicion, RAS, of a specific crime. Since the officer has not articulated a crime, the citizen's silence is a Fifth Amendment right, not a criminal act of obstruction.
Okay, what's going to happen if I don't produce ID at this point? What will happen?
I'm waiting on that.
I'm not refusing.
Or standing on the sidewalk.
He was alleged to have been in the parking lot. Now, I personally didn't see it. I didn't see it, so I don't know. When I came out and encountered him, he was on the sidewalk.
Am I being detained or am I free to go? It's one or the other.
No, I need to see some ID.
Officer. I'm sorry, Lieutenant.
He got this off YouTube. Exact same subject did this exact same thing on YouTube.
Right, this
to be
is
comical, and then
this
he wants
is-
to write about it. And this is
It's because you guys are infringing on my First Amendment rights. This is a public sidewalk. This is constitutionally protected activity. I've explained to you that I'm a journalist.
And you never
were not-
stepped foot off the sidewalk.
I have never set foot off the sidewalk.
You would have an ID tag. You would have something.
I do have an ID tag, but what I'm telling you is it's none of your business. I'm not producing ID unless I'm being detained.
For
This isn't a-
security purposes, yes.
There's also a gentleman.
He recorded down there.
Yeah, he's recording right down the road. He has a camera.
Am I free to go?
on the tripod. He's
No, you're not free to go.
So I'm being detained.
You're not free to
Let me
go.
go down and talk
I'm not free to go.
Okay, this is not a public building.
That's not a public building.
It's not
It's
a-
a state correctional institution, man.
Okay,
You're Tiffany
and for
Parsons.
yes, Tiffany Parsons.
What's your badge number?
37, Gadsden County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you.
Phone number 627-9233. And if you need anything
Relax.
further, I can give
Okay.
it to you.
Relax.
This is a security issue because
This
we
is a
have
First
prisoners
Amendment
in
issue.
here.
This is a constitutionally protected right, safeguarded by the First
Once
Amendment.
you come off the sidewalk, it's a security
I've never been off the
issue.
sidewalk. Have you seen me off the sidewalk? Have you witnessed me on their property?
Videotapes. Can
Go
you guys
request
get
it.
a sergeant or a lieutenant and let's just view the videotapes?
I have my chief of security in route.
Okay, because if you step
I never stepped off the sidewalk.
we have a big issue.
I never stepped foot off the sidewalk. I've been on the sidewalk the whole time. If I'm free to go, have a nice day.
You're not free to go
So I'm being detained.
temporarily.
For what reason? What's your reasonable articulable
Because I'm
suspicion?
conducting an investigation.
Based on what? What am I doing that's
I'm
illegal?
conducting an investigation.
What's your
and
reasonable-
my badge says that I can.
What's your reasonable
and
articulable
you will
suspicion?
Be quiet.
What is your reasonable
I'm
articulable
conducting an
suspicion?
investigation.
Based on
I'm
what?
conducting an investigation based on
What
a potential security issue.
Potential security issue.
Potential security issue. That's
I've-
right.
I've explained to
Until
you-
I see the tapes, I have right to see the tapes. And after I see the tapes.
The deputy admits she is detaining him based on a potential security issue, not a committed crime. The Fourth Amendment standard established in Terry v. Ohio requires specific and articulable facts, not hunches or potential possibilities.
By detaining a citizen solely to investigate a non-existent crime, she is conducting an illegal fishing expedition that violates civil rights.
You gotta detain me till you see the tapes.
Can you shut up long enough for me to finish talking?
Well, that's not very nice.
I don't give a damn.
Okay.
Until I see the videotapes, I am officially conducting an investigation. Once I view them and I see that you never step foot on this property, you are free to go.
What's your reasonable articulable suspicion that I stepped foot on that property? What's your reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime? Did you take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, ma'am? Are you aware that this is a First Amendment right? Are you remaining silent?
I am pleading the fifth. How about that? Isn't that great?
That's great.
I can't drive because I've nerve damage.
We've got your white vehicle from St. Johns County, and I have all of your driver's license information. Your license is in fact disqualified. Now that I have both of your information, the warden of this property wants you officially trespassed. Do both parties understand and acknowledge that you are trespassed from this property from this point forward? I have a property receipt for you, sir, because your phone was found and I'm turning it over to you.
Okay.
Here is your property receipt. Glad to get that back to you. Glad we could identify both of you. You have officially been trespassed from the property.
The officers issue a trespass warning for a public sidewalk, effectively banning a journalist from a traditional public forum, which raises serious First Amendment concerns. Furthermore, the claim that his license is disqualified appears to be a psychological tactic to intimidate him from driving away. This behavior demonstrates how authority figures may weaponize administrative procedures to punish non-compliance. What you just watched is the clearest proof. When police use fear and lies about loitering statutes as a weapon, your only shield is a solid understanding of the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. Never step into the street with uncertainty. Subscribe right now to turn knowledge into power, because next time, it could be you. Have you ever been lied to by police just to force an ID check? Share your story with the community in the comments below. This is ID Refusal Central. We don't teach you to be hostile, we teach you to be immovable. Remember this, your rights don't disappear just because they wear a badge. They only disappear when you forget you have them. Freedom isn't for asking, it is for exercising.